Chick Corea, an architect of the jazz-rock fusion boom of the 1970s who spent more than a half-century as one of the foremost pianists in jazz, died on Tuesday at his home in Tampa, Florida. He was 79. The cause was cancer, said Dan Muse, a spokesman for Mr. Corea's family. Mr. Corea's best-known band was Return to Forever, a collective with a rotating membership that nudged the genre of fusion into greater contact with Brazilian, Spanish and other global influences. It also provided Mr. Corea with a palette on which to experiment with a growing arsenal of new technologies. But throughout his career he never abandoned his first love, the acoustic piano, on which his punctilious touch and crisp sense of harmony made his playing immediately distinctive. A number of his compositions, including Spain, 500 Miles High and Tones for Jones Bones, have become jazz standards, marked by his dreamy but brightly illuminated harmonies and ear-grabbing melodies. By the late 1960s, Mr. Corea, still in his 20s, had already established himself as a force to be reckoned with. He gigged and recorded with some of the leading names in straight-ahead and Latin jazz, including Dizzy Gillespie, Stan Getz, Mongo Santamaria and Sarah Vaughan. His first two albums as a leader, Tones for Jones Bones, 1966, and Now He Sings, Now He Sobs, 1968, earned rave reviews. Both are now thought of as classics. But it was playing in Miles Davis's ensembles that set Mr. Corea on the path that would most define his role in jazz. He played the electric piano on Davis's In a Silent Way, 1969, and Bitches Brew, 1970, the albums that sounded the opening bell for the fusion era. Soon after leaving Davis's group, he helped found Return to Forever, and he spent much of the 1970s touring and recording with the band, which became one of the most popular instrumental ensembles of its era. Reviewing a performance at the Blue Note in New York in 2006, the critic Nate Chinnon, writing in the New York Times, recalled the innovative sound that Mr. Corea had honed with Return to Forever 3 decades before. His Fender Rhodes piano chimed and chirruped over Latin American rhythms, female vocals commingled with the soothing flutter of a flute. Then the ensemble muscled up and morphed into a hyperactive fusion band, establishing pop chart presence and a fan base to match. To the extent that there is a Return to Forever legacy, it encompasses both these dynamic extremes, each a facet of Mr. Corea's personality. By the time of that Blue Note show, Mr. Corea's career was entering a chapter of happy reminiscence, full of reunion concerts and retrospective projects. But he continued to build out from the groundwork he had laid. In 2013, for instance, he released 2 albums introducing new bands, The Vigil, featuring an electrified quintet of younger musicians, and Trilogy, an acoustic trio album on which he was joined by the bassist Christian McBride and the drummer Brian Blade.